incident, a life-threatening incident on 8B the other day, where a patient took an illicit drug and actually overdosed. The nursing staff smelled smoke in the room and identified that the patient wasn't acting right with mental status changes. And then shortly after, the patient became unresponsive and quickly decompensated. And as always, in true fashion, they acted immediately in all of the right ways. The patient was administered Narcan to reverse the drug overdose, and the patient ultimately survived the event. These situations for nursing staff, especially on AP, are very unexpected and also very traumatic and upsetting for the nursing staff and really other clinical staff that have to experience it. And so myself, Dr. Payne, and Melissa went to 8B yesterday to debrief with the 8B staff. I do want to mention Cassie, who is one of our valued student nurse technicians on 8B. And for those that may not know, we offer a student nurse technician program throughout the VA and here in Albany. And the new nurse technicians are in nursing school, but they're also employees of the VA, and they provide direct patient care under the supervision of a registered nurse. And it's an opportunity for the student nurse technicians like Kathy and the other SNTs that we have in Albany to develop their skills as they are in school in support of their professional growth and development in nursing practice. And so Cassie was the first to smell the smoke and identify the patient had begun to act differently. And she went immediately to seek out help from her RN preceptor, Jayanthi Matthew, or Jay as we call her. And Jayanthi was all over it immediately after Cassie said something was wrong. And yesterday when we went to debrief with the AP staff, it was really a beautiful moment for us to witness because we validated that the AP staff truly live and breathe the HRO principles because it was evident, the comment. It was evident not only by the way they were speaking to us so candidly about the situation, but also evident by the trusting relationships and the culture of psychological safety among the AP nursing staff themselves and with their leaders. And so there are situations in the world today, unfortunately, that still exist where nurses eat their young, but that is not the case here in Albany VA. And so there was true camaraderie and trust amongst the staff. And that's why we had the outcome that we had. And if the team dynamics were different, the outcome would have been very different. And so it's very clear to us that Cassie is developing very nicely in her practice. And that ultimately speaks to Jayanthi's leadership and strong abilities in how she mentors and precepts our soon-to-be nurses in training. And so for the HRO principles and values, we can connect the situation to obviously the patient's always in the center of everything that we do. There was sensitivity to operations, which means really that everyone has a voice in the matter, including the voices of our young soon-to-be nurses, and deference to expertise, where the young nursing student appropriately seeks out expert advice from her RN preceptor as the situation changed, and obviously preoccupation with failure because the AP staff has already begun to develop some actions, not only in their personal practice, but to improve the process for admitting patients with a history of drug use or overdoses. So I do think we have Jayanthi with us, so please congratulate her on her leadership and some other AP staff as well. But Dr. Payne and Melissa, if you have anything to add, certainly go ahead and add as well.
It was just amazing. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Payne.
I was just going to say it was impressive, Amy, to see the support of all the nursing staff on 8B, and it's greatly appreciated your leadership for the nursing staff to support, the psychological safety. That's a hard thing to come forward and report something. And it was just impressive that, the staff were all helping each other. There's clearly, an area where people felt safe to report what they thought was happening and to receive the support of the supervisors and all the way up the line. And you're right, that's not something you necessarily see every day. So it was just, it was really nice to see when the system works well. And then it was fun to hear a trainee say, I really like working at the VA and I want to work here for my career. That is heartwarming. So it was,
Well, I will
appreciate you
say
bringing me.
it's a testament to our student nurse technician program and education department, because the SNTs that we bring into the facility, we have 100% retention rate of those SNTs, and they become RNs and they stay with us for the long haul. And so it's very clear that we support them through the program. It's very clear that we need programs like SNT and VA STEP and RNTTT, because these young nurses need the support to grow professionally. And so I'm very grateful that we have them here and we have the team of educators and education team to make that happen.
And then I would say, Amy, the other piece of that, I know we greatly appreciate the VA police. It is such a support when something is happening to know that there are police officers who can come and be there just as additional supports, especially around something like this, where safety was involved and potentially, some legal kinds of things. So I'm grateful for that collaboration.
Yeah, and what's really nice is the police actually took the time to, even during the stress of the situation, took the time to educate the nursing staff. Your reaction is to want to search belongings, but in a case like this, you have to be very cautious, because you could find things that you shouldn't be touching. There could be needles in bags that, you could accidentally get stuck, stung with. And it was nice that the police also highlighted Cassie and the 8B team as well. And just for everybody else's awareness, there was a second incident on the same shift on 8B with another patient with suspected drug use as well. So this was very active evening. But the 8B staff, I hope this will not be the last time that we share this story. And I want them to share the story, and I want them to share the lessons learned at greater forums outside of even our Albany VA. So we will plan to share that, maybe even with the Vision 2 grand round, nursing grand rounds, and other forums. But
So
really,
Amy,
yeah, I know we could go on forever, and I know
it,
had
but
something to say.
there's a couple of things I want to add. Thank you, Annette and Amy and the AP staff, amazing, and all of the ones that you mentioned. But I think that the facility, it could be presented at a facility quality forum. And I'm thinking a facility quality forum from an HRO perspective, because it could happen anywhere. So it could happen in the ICU, it could happen in, at 7B, 9, anywheres where we don't know visitors coming in, what either it's on the persons or visitors are coming in and delivering a drug.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's an RCA.
They want to share it with all of the units.
Okay.
That was something we talked about too.
So Melissa, I know Alicia's not here, so Melissa, perhaps we could do that. Second thing, and I'm hoping that it's written up. This is a very good story to be shared with the network as well. And finally is that I'm sure that with the RCA, you'll come up with additional training that will benefit everyone in how to appropriately screen, and especially if someone has a flag.
We have our brains are spinning with ideas, so
great.
We'll get them into action. But Melissa, did you want to say something? Sorry, we kind of cut you off.
No, that's okay. I just echoing what everybody's comments are. It was just nice to see the collaboration, the collegiality, and it was just a great job, great teamwork amongst multidisciplinaries for a great outcome.
Certainly was. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Great story. Great way to start our morning